Since its debut in 1987, the Final Fantasy series has been a trailblazer, consistently pushing the boundaries of what a game within the franchise could achieve. Beyond its ever-evolving settings and themes, the series has been a pioneer in gameplay, graphics, and world building. This commitment to innovation has resulted in an unparalleled diversity of gameplay offerings within the industry. Amidst a multitude of spin-off titles, the release of mainline numbered Final Fantasy games stand out as momentous events, the latest installment being Final Fantasy XVI. Taking place in the land of Valisthea, the game follows the story of Clive Rosfield, the shield and elder brother of Joshua Rosfield, the future king of Rosaria and the dominant of fire. Central to this world are the dominants, individuals gifted with the rare ability to harness and manipulate powerful beings known as icons, more traditionally known by fans as summons. These ancient deities each embody the essence of various elements and hold immense power. In addition to icons, magic itself plays a vital role in Valisthea. By channeling ether through crystals, individuals can command the forces of magic. However, some individuals develop the ability to draw ether directly from the world itself. Known as bearers, these individuals belong to a subjugated slave class in Valisthea, exploited to minimize the consumption of crystals, a precious and finite resource. Because of the value of crystals, control of the mother crystals from which they derive is a perpetual source of conflict between nations. As each nation seeks dominance and control, they vie for supremacy over these precious resources, willing to go to great lengths to secure their influence. Within this tumultuous backdrop, the destinies of our protagonists and the world they inhabit intertwine, driving the narrative forward with suspense and emotion. I'll avoid discussing specific story details so as not to give anything away, but the world of Final Fantasy XVI feels significantly darker in theme than previous installments. The shift is not surprising considering the producer Naoki Yoshida drew inspiration from Game of Thrones, even having the core team purchase and watch the series. This game is the first mainline installment and the third in the series to receive an M rating by the ESRB. And while I personally find ratings to be arbitrary and infantilizing, it's not uncommon for developers to cut content or nerf their creativity in order to avoid this rating. So as one who values artistic freedom, it goes without saying that I very much respect the decision to accept the M rating. And it should be noted that this rating didn't come due to anything gratuitous, but in my estimation, perhaps one too many no-no words. In line with the recent trends in the series, Final Fantasy XVI falls into the action RPG genre, with fast-paced, high-octane combat that remains remarkably intuitive and easy to learn. Players can perform elaborate combos by using Clive's melee attacks, magic, dodging, and icon abilities. Melee and magic attacks are straightforward enough, and a well-timed dodge slows down time, creating an opportunity for a counterattack. However, the real intrigue lies in the icon abilities. Clive possesses the unique power to claim control of icons from their dominance, and as he acquires more, he gains the ability to toggle between 3 icons during combat. Each icon provides a basic use ability, and are equipped with slots for 2 additional abilities with a cooldown. Using ability points to master an ability allows it to be equipped to any icon, as opposed to only the one it belongs to, allowing for much more versatility. As Clive's story unfolds, he discovers the ability to semi-prime, or limit break, which allows him to channel the power of the icon Ifrit, putting him into a temporary state of increased strength and speed. Alongside Clive's combat abilities, players can utilize the D-pad to issue commands to one of Clive's party members, the goodest boy, Torgal. As players become more proficient in combat and are comfortable switching between various abilities, players will discover greater depth of combat and in turn, greater enjoyment. The battles tied to the story are exceptionally dynamic, painting your screen with a spectacular display of blades and particle effects, offering an experience that can only be described by the wise words of Micah Peasley.
Just like you pull in and you just get spit right out of them, you just drop in and just smack the lip, whoop, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, you just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.
Each chapter builds up to a climactic crescendo, leading to extravagant icon battles boasting incredible visuals and bump-in-battle themes that feel as though they were fever dreams intended to be played in an IMAX theater. The cinematic design of Final Fantasy XVI took center stage in this title. While the franchise has already earned a reputation for its phenomenal cutscenes, this installment surpassed prior expectations. Gameplay and cutscenes flowed into each other seamlessly, and pre-rendered cutscenes in particular were top-notch. The world was crafted in such a way that the desperation of its inhabitants was palpable, evoking an emotive call to action. In this regard, the combination of storytelling and gameplay felt like an oddly tasteful blend of Game of Thrones with a dash of anime. All of this set against the backdrop of fantastical landscapes that have become synonymous with the Final Fantasy franchise. The protagonists of the story generally convene at Cid's Hideaway, a concealed sanctuary for bearers seeking refuge from tyranny. Serving as a central hub, here, Clive can purchase, craft, and enhance weapons and accessories, while also receiving new story and side quests, hunt requests, and rewards for increasing renown. Engaging in side quests, especially those that are part of a chain, grants deeper insights into the world and characters surrounding Clive. The hunt board offers information on formidable and troublesome monsters to be vanquished. These tasks yield some combination of rewards, including gil, the realm's currency, experience, ability points, and increased renown. Additionally, certain side quests enhance consumables potency, carrying capacity, and even grants access to the use of a chocobo. Chocobo! There are a few other minor features that I'll refrain from discussing to avoid getting caught up in superfluous details. But a final noteworthy feature at the Hideaway is the Arete Stone, which offers training, arcade, stage replay modes, and chronolith trials, as well as another mode made available in New Game Plus. This is not a feature I used during my main playthrough, but is a nice additional set of challenges to have for the hardcores, similar to the VR missions in Final Fantasy VII Remake. As impressive as Final Fantasy XVI is, it's not without its flaws, and I would dare say this is not a game for everyone. With its heavy focus on storytelling, the game appears to prioritize narrative over difficulty. Consequently, experienced gamers may find the game excessively easy. Even some of the more challenging boss fights can be overcome with a small dose of effort and patience. The New Game Plus does offer a greater challenge by doubling the level cap and intensifying enemy encounters, but in my opinion, New Game Plus should be offered as a supplemental challenge for the hardcores, rather than the main attraction, as it requires a full playthrough before allowing the most devoted fans a more suitable challenge. Having started my New Game Plus, I can't help but feel my whole first playthrough was just a tutorial. The story begins and concludes very strong, but a considerable portion of the central build-up progressed at a sluggish pace. Many of the story beats were very predictable, yet their more interesting implications were often completely overlooked. Additionally, several times throughout the story, progression came to a halt until speaking with Vivian at the Hideaway. Vivian's role was to provide ever-evolving socio-political information about the world, but in my view, this exposition could have been better integrated into gameplay rather than relying heavily on dialogue. Some of the less consequential side quests turned out to be much longer than they had any right to be, and started to feel like a real slog to get through partway through the game. Additionally, Final Fantasy games always have a pretty badass set of core characters.
Who'd want to mess with any of us, huh?
And 16 was certainly no exception. But some of the peripheral characters were unbearable, ultimately proving to be more of a distraction than an endearing addition to the story. And as a minor observation, it was perplexing to see ordinary soldiers and citizens treat Clive as if he were some random chump, despite his unmistakable appearance as the main character in any given situation. The disconnect between visual markers and their actual value becomes apparent as you become drawn to hidden chests or glowing treasure markers to go out of your way just to collect a few gil. Going slightly out of the way to obtain such insignificant rewards can be more tedious than it sounds, especially given the absence of a run input. Clive will automatically start running after moving at his standard speed for about 6 seconds, except in towns, where running is completely disabled. And with a relatively low density of interactable content, Navigating Valisthea often entails a simple act of running from point A to point B. Valisthea could have greatly benefited from incorporating more hidden challenges and rewards behind environmental puzzles, allowing players to utilize Clive's abilities outside of combat, and enhancing the overall immersion in the world. Some of these criticisms might be a deal breaker for some players, and overall, I would say it was a mixed bag. But as one who enjoys grand narratives and cinematic experiences, I could honestly say that I did enjoy playing Final Fantasy XVI, and if you also enjoy these aspects, or the game's style of combat, I would recommend giving it a try. It excels in delivering breathtaking, grandiose battles, captivating cutscenes, and remarkable character and creature designs, including one of my new top favorite villain designs, sporting butthole eyes to rival Pete Davidson's. And if you're a longtime fan, you'll find plenty of little nods to previous entries. If the departure from more conventional JRPG mechanics doesn't appeal to you, or if a cinematic experience alone is not enough to pique your interest, then I would suggest waiting for a sale if you're at all curious about the newest entry in the Final Fantasy series. But what do you guys think? If you're a longtime Final Fantasy veteran, did you get a chance to play the game, and where would you rank it within the series? And if you're new to the series altogether, did this game appeal to you, or are you interested in other titles in the franchise? Personally, I'd highly recommend trying Final Fantasy VII Remake or Final Fantasy XV, which I find to be an underrated gem. This video marks my first anniversary on YouTube, and I'm super thankful to everyone who's been engaging with my videos. I intend to continue releasing a new review every month, and strive to continually improve my craft. So if you enjoy the content I've been putting out, please share with friends to help the channel grow. And as usual, liking and subscribing is always appreciated. I've been Pungent Funk. Keep it funky, fellas.